this session is going to be broken into two parts, okay? The first part, we are going to look at one-of-one generative art. But using Midjourney and Dolly, I can also show you how can you create multiple variations of the same image. However, if you want to make something like a 1K or a 10K collection, then this is not the ideal method because it is slow, it takes time, and you have to hit each generation as it happens, right? So what we're going to do is first we're going to look at 2 or 3 tools, right? Depending on how much time we have. The first tool that I'm going to show you all is Dall-e. So how many of you have heard about ChatGPT? Guys, anyone who has heard about ChatGPT? Anushka, and folks, feel free to unmute yourself and we can chat.
Yes, we have.
Right, so ChatGPT, if you go to the URL, it's chat.openai.com, right? So OpenAI is the company that also has brought to you Dolly. And Dolly is an LLM that has been trained. So an LLM stands for a large language model, right? I mean, even though it stands for a large language model, it's actually used to generate images. So all of this, it's basically known as transformers, right, in the AI world. And transformers, given a certain data set, if you ask it to do something, it will create something based on the data it has been trained on. All right. So this is coming from the same company that brought you ChatGPT. And the reason why I'm starting with this is because, well, actually, you guys can try to see if you're getting any free credits with Midjourney, and I can show you how that is. But from what I know, new accounts on Midjourney are no longer getting any free credits to try things out. Or else I believe they used to get like 25 credits every month or every day, but now I think you have to have a paid account. So because of that, with Midjourney, I will show you what is it that you can do with Midjourney. But Dolly comes with 15 free credits every month. All right. So that's why we're going to start with Dolly. And if you want more credits, then you can just get more credits. So as you can see, I have some extra credits here. That's because, we have bought some credits. But essentially, to buy 115 credits, you pay $15 and the credits don't expire. So you can use the credits for I mean, you can just use it on at your own pace. Even after you buy the credits, it will still continue to add 15 credits every month, but the credits do not roll over, which means if you don't use those 15 credits, then the end of the month, end of your billing cycle, whatever, it will expire. And then you just reload with another new 15 credits. All right, so by default, Dolly generates everything as a square image. Okay, with Midjourney, you have more control over the prompts. But yes, I mean, Dolly just creates square, but there is an option through which you can actually extend Dolly images, and we'll look at that. Now, let's try some simple images over here, right? Just some simple image generations. Because we are looking for something of an NFT, and most of the NFTs we know it's been like, monkeys or apes or something like that, right? So, and they are illustrated, okay? So what we're going to do is try and tell Dolly what is needed. Now, one of the things you need to understand is for Dolly, unlike ChatGPT, Dolly doesn't have very good natural language processing skills, which means if you need to be like straightforward with Dolly. You can't just ask it to interpret things in its own way. It will, but the results might not be what you expect. So when it comes to any of these AI image generators compared to ChatGPT, you actually just tell them directly what is needed. And you can separate out the prompts and we'll look at that. But let's just look at what happens if you just feed it a prompt, right? Now, does anyone have any, um, examples or, anything that you think you want to create? Well, actually, I'll get started with something and then what you guys can do. So here, let's think about it, right? First of all, there are a few things as you're thinking about prompts, right? You have to talk about, first of all, the object that you need. Okay. So let's just think about it. Let's just say, we want to do something with puppies, right? So we just ask it to give something for a puppy, right? An image of cute, let's just say cute puppies, okay? Cute puppies or cute puppy, because we just want one puppy in one picture, right? Now imagine when so by the way, guys, when you're trying this out, just remember every time you're trying it out, it takes up a credit, right? So you can't like do a lot of trials and errors, unfortunately. That's why you have the 15 credits. And after that, if you need anything in that particular month, especially, you need to buy. All right. So there you go. You can see some cute puppies, but obviously we can't use these puppies as PFPs, right? Because they're just cute puppies. And you might literally, when you look at it, you might feel like, oh, it seems like it ripped off images from the internet directly. But it's actually generating images based on what it sees on the internet. But sometimes, yes, in the past, what folks have seen is sometimes some artists' signature and stuff would also get included. And that's not necessarily because it's stealing work directly, but because it looks at that to create something for you. And so yes, you just have to be careful, right? And remember, every trial and error is actually, unfortunately, costing you money. Now, when you look at a lot of the NFTs, they are like illustrations, right? So, and also they have that portfolio sort of look. So let's try being a little more descriptive, okay? Cute puppy wearing a hat. Let's see. Profile, picture, style. And then let's just say 2D illustration, bright pop colors. Okay, so we are just separating the prompts with a comma, right? And let's see that, when we provide that, what happens. Okay. So now, as you can see, we have something better, right? I mean, something that we are more used to seeing when we look at images on as profile picture, right? That's what we see. So here we use those bright pop colors. So we have all of these pop colors come up. We said we want a 2D illustration, so we see this. Now let's just change this to 3D, okay? 3D. Okay. And then, in Japan, chibi 3D style. There is a form of Japanese art that's chibi. You can also try anime style, right? And by the way, here it shows your history so you don't lose access to it. So let's just click on generate again. And again, remember, every time you're doing it, it's just using up your credits, okay? But then just to try things, 15 credits are generally good enough. Now, let's just say that I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh, this one looks cute. Why don't I let one of you pick something? Do you guys want to go ahead and pick up one of them? Which one do you think looks good? And yes, you can keep doing this. You can keep changing things till you find something that looks good. But yeah, anyone wants to make a choice, you can just unmute yourself and talk about it. Or all right, okay. At least Anushka is responding. Guys, it seems like Anushka is the only one who's learning, by the way. All right, okay. Got something from Daniela too. So now if you hover on this, right, or you click on it, what you'll see is you have an option to, first of all, you can save it to a collection, you can download it, you can share it with friends. You can also edit this, right? And edit actually opens it up in in an outpost editor where you can also extend on it, right? And then as you can see, right, you can select a part of the image that you want to generate, or you can just extend the generation frame if you want to do like a 16:9 image, for example. So we will not edit it right now. I'm just going to go back over here. But what we're going to do is look at variations. Okay. All right, let's look at variations here. All right, guys, again, to get to the screen, right? You're looking at this and let's say we liked it. You're like, let's go and look for some variations, right? So you can either click on generate variations here, or you click on the image and then there is the variations tab here. And again, everything that you're doing, especially whenever a new image is being generated, you're actually using up your credits, okay? So now let's see what kind of generations we get from that, all right? And there you go. You get like 4 generations inspired by that, right? And let's say, you know, I kind of like this one better because it's sort of like the quarter turn view that we are used to seeing. And now you can go and download it. But as you can see, right? Hey, you know what, Ishka, I think you're good. So as you can see, guys, we have these images created, but if you looked at the process, yes, it wasn't that small, but trying to get your ideal image in about, like, you know, let's say you have to do it for 1,000 images, right? That is some serious work, trying to get it for 1,000 images. Plus, if you try to use it for 1,000 images, right, you are sitting and prompting it for each and every item. However, the other issue is also the credits that it kind of uses. So at 115 credits for, and the credits actually are cheaper when you, oh my, for some reason, my search thing is not working. Let me just open up my calculator directly. So the credits are cheaper if you buy more, but out here, you know, it's essentially $15 divided by 115. So each image costs you about 10 to 15 cents to generate. Okay. Sure, it is cheaper than hiring an illustrator to get things done for you. But if you're trying to do it for 1,000 images, right, this into 1,000, that's going to cost you about $130 and time. And honestly, if you work with people who create these collections, like if you go to Fiverr and you were to hire artists, they will charge you more than this. But with Dolly, the issue here with Dolly is that, I mean, this is cheaper than hiring an artist. However, you have to sit and keep prompting it. But if you want to just create a collection of like 50 or 100, this is actually not bad at all, because, you know, with the right kind of prompts. And when you think about the prompts, there are multiple things that you could, so there are multiple things that you can add in your prompt, okay? And what I'm going to do is, if you just give me a minute, I'm going to share a link with you. And Daniela, yes, go ahead and ask your question. Yeah.
So yes, a quick question. Could happen that someone can create the same image by not knowing, you know, like say I pick the one, somebody else do the same thing. You will be generated the same or never will?
It doesn't typically, like, even if I was to give it that same prompt again, typically it generates new images every time. But I can't wait for, you know, when it finally runs out of generation, there would be something that is different. Like even here, when you try to regenerate it for this guy, right, you can see that the variations, they are similar, but they are still different, right? So typically it's going to be just you who has that. However, the one thing to note is So first, when Dolly started, they did not include commercial rights with the images, but now they come with commercial rights. However, they are not exclusive commercial rights, right? And I believe the one reason why they have mentioned it that way is because, as you said, there could be somebody else with a similar idea and a similar image, right? So you can, images created on Dolly, you can go and sell them, right? You can make money off of them. However, if you're trying to have some exclusive artwork, then you're better off creating something on your own if exclusivity matters a lot to you. However, if you're creating something for fun, you want to share it with your community, even if you want to sell it, you can use Dolly, no problem. Anyone else has any other questions? Anyone else? Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do here, let's see. Let me share. Actually, first, let me share my screen. So I want to share this link with all of you guys. This is a link to a book that just has a bunch of prompts that you can use with Dolly, right? So it shows all the different prompts and what kind of outputs they got with it. So it's just really easy to follow through, and it's divided into different sections and stuff as well. So I find this to be a good place to start at. Oops. Because for all of the different categories, and the first couple of pages, there's some like ad insertions, which is totally fine because they've made some good, they've put together some good things over here. So if you go out here, you can check these things, right? Like it also goes into how do you fix details, right? Like here, as you can see, this person, now Dolly generates better images, but here the face looks like so shitty. So they changed it, just replaced it with something else. Plus, they have also used some other tools. So yes, here, you just replace the element. If this is something that you can also do with Adobe Firefly, and actually we'll also look at Adobe Firefly today. Then you can also replace the background like this, as you can see, right? And this is the picture editing thing. So I'll just show you that editing thing once. Oops. Once, but where is it? Oh, there you go. So this is a link to the article. And then if you want to look at the book, you can download the PDF, or you can just view this full screen. So I'm going to share it in chat, and hopefully Anushka or Tina can actually send it over as follow-up links. Is that okay, Anushka? The later on, you can send these things to people as follow-up links so they can check this out later on. All right, now.
Sure.
Thank you. Now, with that being said, let's just try image editing once, okay? So let's say I kind of like, let's say, I just want to edit this guy, all right? And I say edit image, okay? And I just choose the eyes and I say, insert googly puppy eyes. And let's see what it does again. So it is context aware, which means it also looks at the overall image in order to generate or edit that particular part, okay? And we'll see how that looks. So as you can see, this was the original image, right? Obviously, this is still shitty. This one's just black, but these two are pretty good variations, right? So when you're looking at, and again, all of this just keeps using your credits, by the way, right? So depending on what is needed, definitely, be aware. So let's say this is this is a fedora hat, right? And then I choose this and I just say add a cute top hat. And you can just use that to modify and add the other features too. And then I'll just show you one other. So now you can see, right? Like again, two shitty images, but then this one has a top hat. This one also has a top hat, right? So even like this, you can create variations of the same image. Like you can create multiple variations where you're changing the assets of the images. Okay. Now, the one last thing that I want to show you with this is how do you extend things. So, oops, let's look at history. Okay. So I think this was the guy that we were looking at, or no, this was the one, right? So by the way, if you realize it created this in chibi style, but it didn't really use 3D. So sometimes you have to just play around with the prompt a little bit to try and figure out what really works. So I'm going to use this again, right? And I'm going to just edit image. But this time, instead of generating variations, I'm just going to extend the image frame. So let's see. Okay, I'm going to add a generation frame to its right. Okay, so it can extend here. And then let's just say pop color garden. All right, so then let's extend it and see what happens there. Now, this one, unfortunately, okay, hold on. Let me do a little bit of an overlap here. Pop color garden, and then try and generate it. Sometimes, if I have an overlap, then it will kind of get the context a little better, or else it just filled it in with some pop color garden, which didn't exactly feel like, it was a part of the image. So now here, what I tried to do was blend this image in, as you can see, right? And then added a garden over here. Now let's try doing that on the other side. By the way, even here, you can look at the variations. So it is allowing you different variations to choose from. So let's just say I'm happy with this one. Okay, I'll just say accept here. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Oops, not an image. You can also add another image, and you can try to blend images. But now I'll add another generation frame over here, right? And also overlap with this pop color garden for puppies. Okay, I'll do something like this, and let's just see what comes up. Okay. And you can also just overlap with as much of the image as you want, but you wouldn't have a lot being generated in that case, because the image overlap would take up a lot of the space. So here you can see you actually have puppies, but it also did a good job of just extending this image and blending it over. Okay. Now, sometimes it will show all of this random stuff, and generally images from AI image generator, they are actually not good when it comes to creating text objects. Okay, so if you try to write like some text on it, it's not going to look that good. So let's just say, I'm happy with just this little image over here. I'm just going to say accept probably. Okay, there you go. So now I can go ahead and download this image, right? And with the image generator, you actually have to download it, or else I think you lose your images. So I'm just going to go to, whoops, desktop. Yeah, just save it here. All right. It's downloading, so just give it a minute. There you go. All right, so that's how you use Dolly. Now, as you saw, Dolly, when it comes to prompt engineering, Dolly's prompt engineering is actually just based off of the words that you're providing. And the biggest restriction is that it only shares 1080 by 1080p images. Okay. So what we are going to do next is explore Midjourney. Now, first of all, let me go and give you all. I'm keeping an eye on the time here, guys. And we have 20 more minutes, and we could probably go over by another 5 to 10 minutes. But I feel like in today's session, we may not be able to cover the pie charm part. And if not, then, we'll just cover that next week. But I'll show you how you can create some image layers so that when you are coming in for the session next week, you'll have some assets to create with. Okay, so earlier their Midjourney beta program allowed you to, let me first share this with all of you. It allowed you to get some free credits, but now they are not offering any free accounts. However, because you guys are based in a different geographic location, sometimes based on that, you might get it. So this is the invite. You do need a discord.com account. So first, actually, if you click that button, the invite that I sent you, if you don't have a Discord account, it will ask you to sign in or sign up. So you can go ahead, sign up, and then go ahead and accept the invite after that. All right. So why don't you all just do that? And I'll give you all like a minute to get signed up and signed in. And when you sign in, it will actually show you like an onboarding workflow that, touch here, do this, right? But yes, I mean, once you have done that and you can see this view, we can just chat then. All right. So I'm going to wait for you guys to finish off. You don't need to download Discord. You can just go to discord.com on your Chrome browser. You don't need to download Discord. If you are on a phone, you can still do it in your browser, but then an app would be better. But if you already have a browser, then yes, you can just access in your browser. All right. Okay. So for anyone who is already in and who's done, can you actually just go in here and try typing /imagine? Okay, and it will show you a prompt and you can just say, a cute puppy or something along those lines. Okay. And then hit enter. Now, in my case, I have a Midjourney account, so it will generate something. But in your case, when you hit enter, it might ask you to first accept terms and conditions. And then what I want you guys to do. So again, /imagine provided with a prompt, right? And the prompt can be anything like a cute puppy, an old lady, whatever, right? So you can have that. But what I want you to do is just try entering that and see if you're getting any free credits, because Midjourney kind of stopped giving free credits, unfortunately. It's a little unfortunate, but yeah, I mean, just see if you can get something. And you can try in these rooms, right? So once you're in Discord, on the left-hand side, right, you'll be on the Midjourney Bot. If you've accepted that invite, you will see some different newbie rooms assigned to you. So you can just select those, go to one of those rooms. And yeah, you can just go with that. Trial support. Oh, yeah, okay. Right. Try to click one of these things. And let me know if any one of you is able to get any free credits.
So is it slash image you said? Or image slash?
Just say /imagine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And then you can click on this or you can hit tab to get the prompt, okay? It's imagine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Is anyone able to generate anything? Or are you all facing issues like, hey, you don't have credits?
No, I'm trying to find the picture. I like it. 1 second.
Oh, you can just type imagine, and for now you can just use any prompt, just to see if you're getting any free credits. That's about it.
Okay. 1 second. How will we know if it's working?
So once you enter the prompt, it will, just type a prompt and then it should show something. So for example, here again, if I do a cute puppy chibi style 3D, right? So in my case, you can see that it's doing this and it will say waiting to start, or in your case, there's a pretty good chance it might say, hey, first you have to accept the command. So just enter it and then you'll see.
Because when I scroll, it's an endless scroll and the home and top way.
Okay, yeah, you can come down right from the side. You can just come down and then you can try entering that prompt. And I'll also show you how you can do it in another way, but that way only works when you have Midjourney's professional version. So that's obviously, it saves you from all of this, but it only works for professional versions.
I got a message that has not accepted, but I have to accept the terms to continue using Midjourney.
Okay, can you accept the terms and then try after that?
Accept the terms, right? Okay.
Yeah, just accept the terms and then test it out after that and see what happens. So here you can see that with the same prompt, similar prompt, this actually gave me a 3D style. So when it comes to interpreting your prompts, I personally feel Midjourney is better than Dall-e, but like I said, Midjourney doesn't seem to give any more free credits anymore. But yeah, I mean, you all are testing, so let me know if anybody gets lucky and gets any free credits.
No, I have. Let me see. Oh, I think to expand on 25 free queries.
Oh, you got it, 25 free queries?
Not sure because the first message was not, but it looks like he has now.
Okay, perfect. That's good. So, so if you guys sign up, hopefully you'll get like, at least 25 free queries, and then you can explore with that, right? Now, as you can see here, for a similar prompt, right, which is again a cute puppy chibi style 3D, actually getting better inputs, better outputs with Midjourney. So Midjourney's pricing is a monthly subscription. As you saw, for Dolly, you have to buy credits, but Midjourney subscription is actually cheaper than Dolly's credits. Because here, so your free time, like this is a lifetime thing. Oh, you can still get 0.4 hours. And I believe with the free trial, you cannot actually, I don't know. You just get like 25 free credits or something. I don't remember. But for the basic plan, which is $10 a month, or if you subscribe for the entire year, it's $96. You get up to 3.3 hours of fast GPU generation time, or else your image generation is slow. And after that, it's unlimited image generation. It would just be slow. And trust me, in 3.3 hours, you can still get a lot done. But once you get the basic plan, by the way, I don't work for Midjourney, guys, okay? So just want to clarify that. So I'm not trying to pitch them, but I'm just showing you what options are available. Oh, sorry, for the basic plan for $10, you actually do not get the unlimited generation. So you only get 3.3 hours a month. But for a lot of people, that's more than enough. And I'll just show you what I mean by, more than enough. Every image probably takes like a minute to generate, right? So, you can still get a lot of things done with just that. I mean, generally, this is a pretty good way to generate images, even for your social media posts and stuff, right? I know we are doing this for NFTs, but with Midjourney, with Dolly, you can also create product images. So yes, so you can actually do that. Now they also have a standard plan and a pro plan, and there, while you have fast hours, and then after that you have unlimited generation. So one of the features of the pro plan is you don't have to come and get lost in this labyrinth when you're using generation. You can actually just click on this bot, right, where it says Midjourney Bot. You can click on that profile picture, and then once you click on it, okay, I don't know why this is not loading up. Okay, there you go. So when you click on it, you actually see this option here to message Midjourney Bot. And once you message it, On your left-hand side, right, you will actually see, let's see. Once you send a message, right, let's just say, you send a message, it will automatically open this view up. Okay. Right. So this is a DM with the bot. So it doesn't get very cluttered. Whatever you put here, it still gets recorded on the Midjourney servers and stuff. However, the idea is that, instead of going through that entire clutter and using that Discord server, you can just DM the bot. Now, Discord interface is a little confusing. So you see this little tiny line. Actually, underneath that tiny, and it's not very visible, underneath that you have all the servers. And then if you have any unread messages, it shows above that. And then if you don't have any unread messages, you don't see anything here. So people get a little confused at how do I get to my message inbox? You have to just click on this icon directly. Okay. And this icon, as you can see, is for direct messages. So this is where it can get a little confusing. Discord's UX can be much better because, trust me, for a lot of people, Discord UX is very confusing. So now what you can do is you can actually just make images over here with prompt. So as I said, you can also have some nice, you can use this for some nice e-commerce images too. So let's say I want to use it for the image of a refreshing cup of tea on a pristine white table, background of beautiful floral garden, blurred, let's just see, cup of tea in focus, background out of focus, and then I'll just say HDR, okay, like we really want it to be a good image. And let's just see what it imagines and sends out. One of the things with Midjourney is Midjourney's prompt engineering is much better than Dolly's. So if you want to actually pay money and get something, I would say go for Midjourney if you're okay paying like $10 or $20 or whatnot for a month. So here you have more control. For example, Midjourney allows you to control the aspect ratio, right? It also allows you to just upload 2 images and blend them. So those are things that you can see in like advanced prompts. So here's an example, right? Okay, not sure why is this working this slowly. Well, my internet speed seems to be fine, but for some, oh, there you go. So now, as you can see, they just uploaded 2 images here, and this is how it's being imagined as a new image, right? So Midjourney gives you a lot more control over that. You also have the remix mode. So, if you find an image and then you're trying to remix it and you turn on the remix mode, you can actually add like a remix prompt to it. So there are a lot more variations, but more importantly, here you have the parameters, right? So these are the various parameters and they are explained in further detail. But the important things are like, instead of just getting a square image, you can get a 16:9. You can get many different aspect ratios here. And you can find your aspect ratios over here, right? A square image is this, right? This is the aspect ratio. So you can, and you have to use whole numbers. So you can't use 1.39 to 1, but you can have permutation of combination. You can have permutations and combinations of any aspect ratios over here. By default, Midjourney uses version 5 right now. So whatever aspect ratio you're looking for, and here they have shared a lot of different aspect ratios, you can use that. And the way you supply parameters is using this. So for Midjourney's prompt engineering, we could probably have a completely separate class for that, because, just prompt engineering for Midjourney, we can go on for a whole hour. But what I want to show you is how the results with Midjourney are kind of different, right? So now if you look at this image, I mean, most of them, actually all of them have really focused on the prompts I gave, right? The background is out of focus. The focus is on the cup of tea. I mean, look at them.
Sonia, I have a quick question. How did you send the message? Because
To send the message, as I said, you need to have a paid plan.
oh, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
All right, got it.
So
Thank you.
only when you have a paid plan. Without the paid plan, you have to use the server. But yes, with the paid plan, you can DM, you can direct message the bot, and then it is not cluttered. So I'll show you. Okay, by the way, as you can see, all of these 4 images are bunched together as one image. So when you see these buttons, this is what the buttons do. When you click on anything like U1 to U4, it actually upscales the image. So let's say, the second image is first or second image, they're looking good, right? Or the fourth one. So let's just go with the first one, for example, right? So what you can do is you can click on U1, and what it will do is it will just give you just this image by itself. Okay, so this is what the upscale thing does. It's upscaling the image and giving you that option. This particular button over here, it regenerates these images for the same prompt. It basically just, runs the prompt again for you. So instead of trying to type that prompt, you just click on this and it will create a new set of variations. Again, I'm just going to click on that. It will take its own little time, but we can check that. Then V1, V2, V3, V4, these allow you to create variations of the image. So if you remember, we had chosen our puppy and we created variations of the puppy. This is exactly going to, it's going to do the same. But Midjourney variations are more subtle than what we saw with Dolly. So I'll show you an example here. Right, okay. I'll just click on V1 so you can see how different the variations for Midjourney are versus we have seen that when Dolly created the variations, how those looked. So here you can see that even while it is still being generated, you can actually see that all of those images look pretty similar, right? So that's the thing, that Midjourney variations are way more subtle than Dolly variations. And
Anya?
yeah.
With Midjourney, are these messages, direct messages, personal? Are you the only one who was able to see them, or
They
is the
do
public?
Yes. So what happens is Midjourney's website shows it, right? And I think they also get recorded in one of the channels in the Discord server. So it is still public, but I mean, there are so many prompts being recorded every day that, to be honest, people may or may not see that here. There is general CC. They have this commercial terms, but I believe there is something along the privacy thing, which I need to check, but I believe it just shows up in one of their general channels, right? And then, oh, there is a stealth mode over here. Okay. So Midjourney is open by default and all image generations are visible on their website, including images created in private Discord service, direct messages, and on the WebJourney map. Now, we can use the stealth and public commands toggle to toggle between the stealth mode. And what it does is stealth mode only prevents others from viewing your images on midjourney.com. So on their website, it will not show up. But yeah, anything that we have created in the public channels will be visible to them. So you can use the stealth mode, and then in most of the places, especially your DMs, will not show up. So the way you just turn that on is you just do stealth, right? And then it will not show up any. Oh, I have the second tier plan, which is, where is it? Okay. So you need to have the pro plan for it, which is $60 a month. I'm not that rich, so I've just gone for the standard one. And the standard one actually doesn't include the stealth mode. As you can see, you have to pay like $60 a month to get to the stealth mode. I mean, honestly, if someone is looking at our prompts, I don't care so much. So yes, but once you have that, you can actually toggle and go to a stealth mode, and your messages sent in DMs would just be private to you. One of the things I do like to do though is go to Midjourney and look at what others are prompting, because sometimes you can find really great prompts and stuff over here. Right? This is a good place, especially somebody who knows how things are being done. This is a good place to learn some good prompt engineering. So when you're starting, one of the great things about a Discord server is you can literally just spy on what everybody else is doing, right? And it's not even unethical because that's their terms of services. And then you can start looking at all of these parameters and you'll be like, what does -s does, right? And then you'll go to the parameter list, you'll realize it's for stylize. There you go, right? And then it actually controls how much you want it to stylize. If you want to go dive deeper into it, it shows you the value. Your stylized range is 100, but essentially the higher the parameter, the more stylistic it would be. So here, you can see the stylistic variations, right? You can go all the way up to 1000. It shows you how, style 1000 is going to be more detailed, more stylized in a way. So yeah, this is how you can actually learn a little bit about the prompt engineering. What are the different prompts you can use? What are the different parameters you can use from here? How do those parameters respond to the prompts you've given? The most important thing here is actually being able to adjust the aspect ratio, right? Because with Dall-e, we did not have any control over the aspect ratios. You're always just stuck with square images. But with Midjourney, you actually get that aspect ratio. One of the things I'm going to show you just beyond this is how you can expand on a certain image, right? So Midjourney allows you to download 2 images and blend it. Again, as I said, we can do like a whole masterclass on just Midjourney prompt later on. But what I want to show you here is another tool, which I think is free for folks to use. But because, again, I also have an Adobe platform. So for our teams, obviously, we have professional access to all of these tools because we need it for our social media calendars, for whatever we are working on. So I'm not sure. Adobe Firefly 3. I think this is free. So, if you look for Adobe Firefly, right, if you just click on Explore Firefly, it will ask you to create an account, right? And then you can create an account and sign in. But Adobe Firefly is also an amazing tool. They have all of what's surprising is all of these tools are sort of trained on different slightly different data sets. Like Adobe has used a lot of its stock images for the LLM training. So you kind of get different results from them, and I absolutely love it. So let me show you. Oh, here's my gallery. I think this is where, this is the inspired thing, home. Okay. So it seems like I cannot get a, right, let's see. Oh, it seems like Adobe at the moment is not recording history. So by the way, Adobe Subscription is like, if you have to go for the subscription, it's about anywhere between $30 to $60 a month. And again, depending on the region, sometimes the subscriptions are cheaper. But that subscription includes all access to all of their tools, not just the Firefly thing. I think web access. And guys, again, I'm sorry, I should have actually checked it out earlier, but I think because it's not included here at the moment, Firefly is just in beta. So there's a good chance that you'll get this for free, right? So if you can sign up, again, I'm going to put this link, and Anushka, please send out that link later on. If you can try this out, that would be great. And Adobe Firefly is actually one of the only tools that allows you to get some good text effects, because text effects are hard with both Midjourney as well as Dolly. They just don't understand text. But what Adobe has done is it allows you to create these text effects that you can leverage to create some different images. I mean, you can create the text with the text effects, and then you can add it to an image too. So now one of the things that we're going to do is, I wanted to show you this thing, but this won't. So this is something that works in Photoshop where you can actually extend an image. So to use it over here, I'm just going to do like a little bit of a generative, not a generative, a simple hack here. So what I'm going to do is the image that we downloaded, right? So this was the image that we downloaded. And I'm actually just going to grab a screenshot so I can fill out the other areas, okay? So I'll just grab a screenshot here. Give me a minute. Right, so I'm going to just capture a screenshot. I'll roughly make it like, a slightly larger ratio. There we go. I'm going to save the screenshot. I'm using a free tool for screenshots. It's called Lightprint, I believe. Or yeah, I think it's called Lightprint. I've been using it for so many years now, I don't remember. Cup of tea extended. Okay, I'm just name it that way. So I'm just going to do that as a hack because the generator fill, like this extend image, is still not there on the web version. It's there on Photoshop, but I know many of you won't have Photoshop. So I'm just trying to, show you a hack how you can use it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this generative fill, right? I'll use this. And then just accept it. And I'm going to go ahead and upload the image, okay? These are the things that keep popping up, guys. By the way, these are our NFTs. Those were made in Blender. So that workflow is similar to the PyCharm workflow that I'll show you later on. But yeah, they were not generated like this. It actually took us a fair amount of time to do that. Now see, here you can subtract images and you can also add images, okay? So let's say, I want to subtract something, okay? Let's say I don't want that, I don't want this leaf, okay? So I'll click on subtract and I can also change the size of the brush and also the brush hardness, okay? So I'll just click on subtract here and I'll click on this. Oops. Okay, there's something weird happening here. It's supposed to just stay there so I can fill it in. Let's just see if it works with add. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working with subtract, but okay. For the moment, what we'll do is I'll at least show you how to add things again. So I'm just going to select all of this. I'm sorry?
On the left, Sonia, you got insert and remove. Do you have to maybe click on the remove thing on the left?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I think well, but yeah, no, there's something wrong with it. Okay, that's fine. I think it's just some glitch. That's okay. And that's why it's in beta, right? Sometimes it won't work. So I'm just going to increase the brush size here. So it's a little faster just filling this up. Okay. So I'm going to select this entire background because I want that entire background to be a floral background. And it's okay if you overlap a little bit with the image because it will automatically extend it, right? There we go. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is just say out of focus floral background. Okay. And then I'll click on generate and then let's see what it does. I missed a spot here and there, but hopefully it works. Voila.
The leaf disappeared from that previous picture eventually.
Because I kind of, something happened, but anyway, it actually distorted this, but look at what it has generated for us, right? It's cool, right? I mean,
Wow,
it's literally like you have zoomed out on that image and now you're seeing the entire picture. So this feature, the generative fill, is actually something that's not well. You saw how we did that in Dall-e, right? When we extended this, right? So this generative fill feature is something similar, but I just feel like Adobe's generative fill is much better. Again, I don't work for Adobe or for OpenAI or for Midjourney, right? So whatever opinions I'm sharing, those are purely my personal opinions. Okay. So there you go. This is like, oh, you'll be like, okay, this looks cool, but they also have variations. So now you can check, right? Like each of them, they are so seamlessly blended though, if you take a look at it, right? Now here, I think what happened was I probably just put the brush over here too, but here, there you can see. So, you can pick up any of the variations you like. And if you don't like one of them, I mean, I actually like this better because, there isn't as much foliage. There's more sunlight sort of coming in, better focus on this. You can just click on more, right? And you can get more variations. Now, one of the other cool things, I'll just keep this. One of the other cool things you can do with it is you can actually add items, okay? So now let's say, over here, right, like right in this area over here, and I'll just choose this entire area. Okay. And what I'll do is a tray of English tea biscuits, right? Because, tea biscuits, and I don't know if you drink this tea with biscuits. I'm not really a tea or coffee person, but sure, why not? There you go. See how it has just seamlessly added a tray of cookies, and you can just choose one that you like. And because everything else is in focus, it is also just, kept this in focus. But I could cancel this and say tray of English tea biscuits in focus, right? And if I click on generate, because it's trying to blend it with everything, this area was out of focus. So, it kept it out of focus. It still just keeps it out of focus because, it's going with what we have. But hey, there you go. You can just get, some really cool variations. What if we say a tray of various cookies? Again, I'll just click on generate. And I think Firefly doesn't have any credits or anything because it's in beta. They want people to use it, get things going. So kind of similar inputs. This looks good too, right? And then, this one's good, right? And that's also in focus. So I'll just keep this. All right. Oh, actually, before that, a ceramic tray. Okay. A ceramic Chinese tray, because Chinese tray of various cookies. Hold on. A porcelain painted tray of various cookies, just to see, if we get something different, right? Just because this teacup, the saucer is in porcelain. So now, here you go. In this one, it just removed the tray altogether, but where it has it, you can just, get something different. So let's just say, I keep this one for now because we have played around with it a little bit. And then you can also add something over here, like a book probably, right? So, just say this page, okay. A book with its pages flipped open. So
Sorry,
yeah, it's
Sonia.
like it's just like creating magic. There you go. And you have your frame. I mean, I feel like this is a bit too much, but well, basically you get the idea, right? And I'll just say clear, and then you can go and download. Again, remember, it doesn't this doesn't save your history, so just make sure that you download and keep it. And with that, we are over the hour by 20 minutes. Yes, Anushka.
No, that is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. So thanks so much.
Absolutely. I think at this point we can wrap up, and let me give you a quick call, Anushka, to talk to you about whether, we delve a little further into prompt engineering or next week. And let me give you a call and then we can chat about it. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
All right, perfect. So guys, today we actually covered 3 separate tools, right? We started with Dolly, we went to Midjourney. Like I said, Midjourney gives you more control over aspect ratios. And then finally, we are looking at Adobe Firefly, which I hope for a lot of you guys would hopefully be free to use. And even Firefly has text to image gen. So what I would recommend people do is try it out, right? Like try out all the different tools that you have free access to. Now, Dolly also has the generative fill feature in a way, right, where you can expand. Everything needs a credit though, and Dolly comes with 15 free credits. Midjourney doesn't at the moment give you that expansion thing, right? But Midjourney gives you a lot more control over the parameter list. And what I normally tend to do is create something in Midjourney, bring it to Adobe Firefly, and then add things, modify it in Adobe Firefly. Also, Adobe Firefly is the only tool that allows you to get some fancy text effects. And I'll quickly show you a text effect before we wrap up. The other thing, you saw how we use generative fill. You could actually use generative fill to even change your clothes, by the way, okay? So like here, they have shown you examples of how they have used generative fill. There should be more examples, but essentially with this girl, they tried to change the background, but here you can see how the denim jacket is changing, right? So you can even just, if you have your own picture and you don't like the clothes you're wearing in that picture, you can absolutely take this to edit and get yourself like, a cool Facebook ready or profile picture ready outfit. So you can just do that with the generative fill. And finally, the last thing that I wanted to show, which is only possible with Adobe Firefly at the moment, is text effect. So let's say I want to wrap this up by saying thank you, right? And I'll just say floral, okay? Floral pop. So let's do that. And here there are some different prompts you can use for text effect. You can change the different fonts. There you go. You get your text effects created. You can download a text. And then if you want to add background, that's exactly what you do. You just download a text, bring it back to Firefly, use the generative fill background. And in the generative fill background, you actually have an option to just fill in the entire background. So you can just use that. And with that, thank you everyone for joining us today and going through these 3 tools. Any questions or anything before we wrap up? I hope by looking at the different colors, it was better than just seeing my face, and you all had a wonderful time. All right, great. Now, guys, I hope you all have my emails, because if you have any questions to ask me, you can also send me an email. Right, and Sakina, Daniela, Anushka, thank you. I also see Nasi and Tandy. Thank you, ladies, for joining. And I hope this was of value. Remember, everything that you're saying here, you can also apply it for anything else you're working on. If you're making images for your corporate presentation, you can use this. If you're making images for social media posts you put out, you can use this. Except for Adobe Firefly, because Adobe Firefly is in beta, you cannot use images generated from Adobe Firefly for commercial use, which means you can't generate the image and sell them. But both Dall-e and Midjourney, the images that you created, you can sell those. For Midjourney, you need to be on their basic plan. I think they also have this plan, which I think, oh yeah, so their free plan is non-commercial, so you can't sell it with whatever you've created with Midjourney. But as soon as you get at least the basic plan, you're able to sell your artwork. Yes, your homework. So in next session, we are actually going to be looking at how to create multiple works of art. Like we're going to use PyCharm, right? So what I want you to do is just, if you can, that is, right? Let me show you something over here. Okay, so what I want to show you is how you can create like, multiple backgrounds. So here, I wanted to create like some assets where we could merge them to create something. And it could even be something as simple as a background circle with some googly eyes and stuff on it, but you want various layers of it. Okay, so what I mean is like this is the background. So this is going to become one layer. But in PyCharm, what we're going to do is we are going to just superimpose a combination of various layers and create art from that. Okay, so I'll just show you what this has resulted in, right? So this was the background. I think this is also the background. Okay, yeah, I don't need two backgrounds. This is my base character. You can see it's like a cute little base character that we use. Hold on, actually. Yeah, let me show you this. So these are, so I use those backgrounds that I showed you. And these are the different outfits, for example, for this character, right? And then this is the base character, which is just a head, as you can see. And then it has different crypto symbols and some hats, and it has a face to it. So, it has these different layers. And when I combine these layers, so, you basically see all of these different layers here, right? So when I combine these layers over here, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like. Nope, not this one. PyCharm. Then just give me one quick second, guys. Sorry about it. I sort of forgot where I put everything. Just one second again. Yes, we combine them into a picture. And for whatever reason, I cannot find my, sorry guys, just give me 1 second. Right. Okay, hold on. All right, I cannot find it over here. But let me see if I can find it somewhere else. And I'll just quickly show you that with those layers that I had shown you, what exactly is created. So this is something that we created as onboarding NFTs for the Hedera DLT, right? And yeah, let's search for it. It's a little slow. I don't know why everything today is just slow for me. But yes, if you can just create some images like that, and then, you have to put them in the same position. All of them, keep them 1080p, right? 1080p, and they have to be transparent images except for your background, which obviously will be a filled image. But then as you can see, they were all in the same place, right? And we had different layers for like the mouth, the glasses that you see, the hats, right? And the clothes, the outfits you see. So all of these then, through the different permutations and combinations, basically, this is how it creates all of this. Okay. So yes, there you go. So you don't have to make so many layers, but even if you can make like some basic layers and have them ready, that would be great. Or else we'll just try our hands on Canva to try and create something. All right, guys, with that, let's wrap up today's session. And thank you again. I know obviously we ran over time, but I hope that you guys got to learn you girls got to learn some cool new tools. The only one tool that I didn't show you was Stable Diffusion. Stable Diffusion is something that you can run on your local machine, but compared to everything else, it's pretty slow because it runs on your local machine, but you can still, it's free. So you can, on your local machine, you have control over the aspect sizes and stuff. And once you install it, you can actually just run the prompt on your local machine. Cool. With that, ladies, have a good night. Thank you again for joining.